Caitlyn Clark's income for 2024 has been surpassed by tennis athlete Coco Gauff, despite Clark's remarkable season. Clark was recognized as Rookie of the Year for her significant effect on the Indiana Fever and has emerged as a prominent figure in the WNBA. In her inaugural year, she boosted viewership, merchandise sales, and ticket revenue for the league. The 22-year-old made $11.1 million in 2024, with $11 million derived from endorsements. Salary issues in the WNBA have ignited discussion, with Angel Reese stating they might not even be enough to cover her rent. This week, it was revealed that Clark can enhance her income through a side job involving virtual fan engagements. The contrast with other sports was highlighted again when U.S. tennis star Gauff became the top-earning female athlete of 2024. According to Sportico, the American tennis star made a substantial $30.4 million this year, with the majority of her earnings coming from endorsements. Gauff, who advanced to the semifinals in both the Australian and French Opens this year, earned $9 million from tennis awards, while more than half of her income originated from sponsorships. The young athlete, who started earning over $1 million as a teenager, has profitable collaborations with brands such as Head, Barilla Foods, UPS, and Baker Tilly. However, her relationship with New Balance receives the most focus, as Gauff has donned their apparel throughout the year and has her own signature tennis shoe. Gauff leads their women's tennis initiatives and has been seen with other sports icons like soccer player Bukayo Saka and baseball pitcher Shohei Ohtani. With her earnings, Gauff joins Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams as the only female athletes to surpass $30 million in a single year. This underscores the financial opportunities in women's tennis, especially as the WTA strives for equal prize money across the sport by 2033. Remarkably, 9 of the top 15 highest-earning women this year are tennis players. Alongside Gauff, among top earners are Iga Swiatek with $21 million, Qin Wenjung with $20.6 million, and world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka with $18 million. Golf also made a strong impact with 3 representatives in the top 15, along with gymnastics, Simone Biles, and skiing, Eileen Gu. Superstardom has proven lucrative for Caitlyn Clark. Sportico reported that Clark was among the highest-paid female athletes worldwide, ranked number 10, earning $11.1 million in 2024. Most of these earnings, specifically $11 million, came from nil funds during her time at Iowa and brand partnerships that carried over into her professional career. Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, and Panini have maintained their collaborations with the Indiana Fever star since she was selected as the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft this year. Nike is Clark's principal endorsement deal. In April, the brand secured the future WNBA Rookie of the Year with an 8-year contract averaging over $3 million annually. Other brand partners include Wilson, Henry V, Xfinity, Gainbridge, and Lilly, Sportico reported. It's important to emphasize that nearly all of Clark's income comes from off-court agreements rather than her WNBA salary. Clark, a leading figure in women's basketball, could earn approximately $100,000 annually from her WNBA contract if she meets her bonuses. Her base salary for 2024 is $76,535. This is a typical situation in women's sports. American gymnastics star Simone Biles also makes 99% of her income off the mat, according to Sportico. Clark had a chance to increase her earnings this winter with a $1 million invitation to join Unrivaled Basketball, a new 3-on-3 women's league starting in January, but she declined. Clark assisted the Fever in securing a playoff spot in the WNBA, averaging 19.2 points per game while setting multiple franchise and WNBA records. The athlete was seen in Indianapolis with renowned comedian David Letterman earlier this week while recording a segment for his Netflix series My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, as reported by Fox 59/CBS4. Coco Gauff ranked number 1 on the list, earning $30.4 million, with $21 million from endorsements. The celebration had just finished after the New York Liberty claimed the WNBA championship when the Players Association announced their choice to opt out of the league's collective bargaining agreement, which is set to expire in 2027. A significant rise in revenue, primarily due to the emergence of Indiana Fever guard Caitlyn Clark and other prominent rookies, prompted players to realize that their pay is inequitable. The CBA will now conclude after the 2025 season, ending a pay structure that set average salaries around $120,000, rookie minimums at $64,154, and veteran maximums at $241,984. Clark's 4-year rookie contract under the CBA totaled $338,056, including $76,535 for 2024, which are surprisingly low amounts given her revenue impact. Clark shattered nearly every WNBA rookie record, but her influence off the court was even more remarkable. "The figures are so astonishing," stated Ryan Brewer, associate professor of finance at Indiana University Columbus, who was asked by the Indianapolis Star to evaluate Clark's worth. "They don't even seem real." The WNBA finalized a new media rights agreement in July valued at approximately $200 million annually, more than 3 times the existing contract. However, a critical aspect of CBA discussions will be whether this surge in fan engagement and revenue will persist or diminish. This is why the WNBA's media rights deal is overshadowed by the NBA's recent television contract with Disney, ABC and ESPN, Comcast, NBC and Peacock, and Amazon Prime Video. These networks will broadcast the league's nationally televised games for 11 seasons beginning in 2025-26, with the NBA securing around $76 billion. As this evolves, the corporate landscape, particularly the business aspect, not the players' union, will observe whether these figures can stabilize and maintain rather than simply fluctuate, Brewer noted. That's their concern. And that's why the numbers stay low. Meanwhile, Clark is faring well financially despite her modest salary. Sportico released a list of the highest paid female athletes on Wednesday, where Clark was ranked number 10, just behind Simone Biles. As the sole basketball player on the list, she earned $11.1 million in 2024. Tennis player Coco Gauff topped the list for the second consecutive year, earning $30.4 million through prize money and endorsements. Endorsements constitute the majority of Clark's earnings. She generates $3.5 million annually from an 8-year contract with Nike and has further deals with Gatorade, Gainbridge, Hy-Vee, Xfinity, Wilson, Buick, and State Farm Insurance. Conversely, most WNBA players only receive a small fraction of such endorsement revenue. They rely on their salaries, which many augment by competing overseas during the WNBA offseason. According to Bloomberg, merely 9.3% of league revenues, which totaled $200 million in 2024, were designated for player salaries, resulting in less than $20 million. In comparison, NBA players obtain 50% of their league revenue, which in 2023 amounted to $5.3 billion from a total of $10.6 billion. There is widespread agreement on the necessity for a larger share of WNBA revenues to be allocated to player salaries, with precise figures to be established during CBA negotiations next year. Until then, the most convincing evidence players can present will be the continuous increase in attendance, TV viewership, and merchandise sales. Caitlyn Clark significantly influenced the WNBA this year, contributing to record attendance and revenue since the league's inception in 1997. The Indiana Fever rookie also achieved a record for the highest annual earnings for a WNBA player at $11.1 million, with 99% of that earned off the court. Clark made her debut on Sportico's list of the world's highest paid female athletes, with an estimated $11 million in endorsement revenue, including her nil earnings during her time at Iowa in early 2024. She currently maintains sponsorship agreements with Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, Wilson, Hy-Vee, Xfinity, Gainbridge, Lilly, and Panini. Nike represents Clark's most significant endorsement contract. In April, the brand secured the future WNBA Rookie of the Year with an 8-year deal averaging over $3 million annually. Her WNBA salary and bonuses amount to roughly $100,000. It is common for sponsors to account for the majority of an elite female athlete's income, and Clark is no exception. Gymnast Simone Biles, $11.1 million, also earns 99% of her income away from gymnastics, while freeskier Eileen Gu earns only 0.3% of her $22.1 million while skiing. Clark's on-court compensation drew considerable attention during her draft. Awareness heightened regarding the salary disparity between the WNBA and NBA. Clark was the number 1 overall pick, with a 2024 base salary of $76,535 as part of a 4-year, $338,056 contract. In contrast, the Atlanta Hawks selected Zachary Reister first in the 2024 NBA draft, offering him a 4-year, $57 million contract, with $12.6 million allocated for the 2024-25 season. The disparity remains consistent at high pay levels in both leagues. The highest WNBA base salary this season was held by Jackie Young, earning $252,450 with the Las Vegas Aces. Meanwhile, the Golden State Warriors owe Stephen Curry $55.8 million this year. Certainly, The varying compensation is linked to a shorter season, the current development stages of the leagues, and their total revenue figures. The WNBA just finished its 28th season, while the NBA will mark its 80th anniversary next year. 4 of the 6 NBA Finals games in 1981 were broadcast on delay. That year represented the NBA's 35th season. The average revenue for an NBA team exceeds $400 million, while this year it is approximately $18 million for the WNBA. New television contracts have resulted in a greater percentage increase for the WNBA compared to the NBA. Nonetheless, even after securing projected media contracts, which will elevate annual TV revenue to $260 million, it will still account for less than 4% of the NBA's deals. Gender disparities in revenue and salaries are also apparent in professional soccer and hockey. WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert addressed issues regarding Clark's salary by highlighting additional compensation opportunities available. For a CEO, do you only list the base pay? Engelbert inquired at an April CNBC event. No, you encompass their bonus, stock options, and all other forms of compensation. She noted that Clark could potentially earn up to $500,000 this year through WNBA salaries. The WNBA chose not to comment on Clark's earnings. The collective bargaining agreement offers various earning opportunities aside from base salary. There are bonuses for regular season MVP, $15,450, all WNBA first team, $10,300, All-Star Game MVP, $5,150, and other categories. The WNBA title grants $20,825 per player, while the Commissioner's Cup payout is $30,000 each. Teams may also provide a time-off bonus of up to $50,000 to discourage players from competing overseas during the off-season. Moreover, the WNBA has a player marketing agreement, PMA, that compensates players up to $250,000 to act as brand ambassadors for the league and its affiliates. The PMA was introduced before the 2022 season with 3 players and expanded to 10 the following year. This season featured 6 players, including Clark's teammate Aliyah Boston and Ryan Howard from the Atlanta Dream. 1 player received the maximum during the 2021-22 season, and multiple players earned $225,000 this year, according to a source familiar with the specifics. Generally, rookies, including Clark, are not able to participate in the PMA until after their first season, as the timeframe covers services beginning on the day following the last game of such season and continuing through the last game of the following season, as outlined in the CBA. The CBA also specifies a team marketing agreement, TMA, that provides a maximum of $4,000 per week, with a team allowed to spend up to $150,000 for all players in 1 year. It remains uncertain if Clark received any of the Fever's 2024 TMA funds. The WNBA would be eager to incorporate Clark in a PMA in the future, although players sometimes choose to opt out if they have significant sponsorship relationships and additional off-court income. In 2022, Engelbert stated that experienced WNBA players could make $700,000 during a press conference after Phoenix Mercury star Brittany Griner was released from Russian custody. In September, Seattle Storm forward Gabby Williams, who also competes in Europe, challenged the claim of a W player earning $700,000. Our commissioner spoke about us being able to earn $700,000, Williams mentioned in her end-of-season press conference. That's actually not accurate at all. There's not a single player who receives that. The WNBA pay system is being examined after WNBA players chose to opt out of their collective bargaining agreement right after the 2024 WNBA Finals. Opting out isn't solely about higher salaries, it's about asserting our rightful share of the business we've developed, enhancing working conditions, and ensuring a future where our achievements benefit both current players and future generations, Nneka Ogwumike, WNBA president and 9-time All-Star, expressed. We're not merely requesting a CBA that mirrors our value, we're insisting on it, because we've earned it. Regarding Clark, she increased her $76,535 base salary through various bonuses. The largest was $10,300 for being named to the All-WNBA first team. She became the first rookie since Candace Parker in 2008 to receive this honor. She obtained an additional total of $10,000 from Rookie of the Year, $5,150, All-Star participation, $2,575, WNBA All-Rookie Team, $1,500, and making the playoffs, $1,136. W players are also qualified for team housing or a rent stipend during training camp and the season. The monthly stipend in 2024 ranged from $1,148 in Las Vegas to $2,583 in New York. It was $1,263 for players on the Fever. The WNBA announced their upcoming 2025 schedule and introduced a special mid-season reward for players like Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese. We're still months away from the 2025 season, but preparations are in progress, with the regular season comprising 44 games for each team, the most in WNBA history. During this period, the WNBA's in-season tournament is also taking place. The Commissioner's Cup will occur from June 1st to 17th, with a championship match on July 1st, as the regular season halts to spotlight this event. According to the league, all intra-conference cup games will contribute to a team's regular season win-loss record. The tournament champion will receive a $500,000 prize pool. Additionally, the Commissioner's Cup sponsor, Coinbase, will provide each player in the championship match $5,000 in cryptocurrency. This will be the fifth edition of the Cup that launched in the 2021 season when the Seattle Storm triumphed over the Connecticut Sun. The Las Vegas Aces defeated the Chicago Sky the following year before the New York Liberty reclaimed the Cup from the defending champions in the 2023 final. A similar event took place last season with the Minnesota Lynx overcoming the Liberty as a preview of the 2024 WNBA Finals. The league also announced that the opening games for each team will take place in mid-May, with the season commencing at 7:30 ET on May 16 when the Atlanta Dream competes against the Washington Mystics and the Lynx faces off against the Dallas Wings. The Golden State Valkyries will have their first home game against the Los Angeles Sparks. Meanwhile, Rookie of the Year Clark will make her debut as the Indiana Fever goes up against Reese's Sky in their season opener on Saturday, May 17, at 1 p.m. local time. Clark and Reese will meet on June 7, July 26, August 9, and September 5. The defending champions, the Liberty, will face the Aces in an exciting matchup. The Phoenix Mercury will host the Storm, while the Sun will wait until May 18 to begin their season against the Washington Mystics, concluding the first round of opening games. A significant change will make the finals a best-of-7 series instead of the previous best-of-5. The semifinals will remain best-of-5, and first-round matchups will continue as best-of-3, but games will now alternate for hosting purposes. The WNBA All-Star Game is scheduled for July 19 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, home to the Fever. This will be the first WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis, which may give Clark an opportunity to play at home if chosen for the second consecutive year.